Scorpio coast. When you look at this ancient landmass on the southern continent, the tectonic plates, the earth tectonic plates, and the bay, and the geological data that's in the geology here of California. When you look at time, the prehistoric times, and the development of the bay, and the progress of how these earthquakes and these tectonic plates have opened up this bay that we have today, and which caused the extinction of a lot of these great animals that were present here in California. Specifically, when you look at the saber-toothed tiger, the slimdon, similundum, Californicus. And when you look at these different prehistoric animals that were present here, and how the earthquake and the tectonic plates and the geological formations that exist here currently, present day, in the Bay Area, shalom, you can see how this development and these tectonic plates still continuously been affecting the landmass here. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the different ages and the opening, and now this is the mixture of the freshwater and saltwater is the reason for the extinction of a lot of these animals, because they're planting what they fed upon, the grazing land for these different animals causes extinction. When you understand the significance of how the freshwater mixing with the saltwater affected nature. These teachings were essential to this coast and to these people here of the Californias. And so this is just making this just to show you, man, you gotta go do research and look at books that have not been transliterated. As you see here, this Lewis Corr's book, which holds these images, these watercolors, right? It's written in French, right? It's not written in an English. But we read the revised English versions, which is not accurate to what was actually written even in the French. Because it's been formatted to meet the historical relevance, to keep pushing agendas, racial agendas after the 1850s, after 1816. You got to understand the world wars. World War I, World War II, and what took place in the Hawaii. When you look at the bombing of Pearl Harbor, right? You got to understand why the Pacific and these wars and how these things started to unfold into present day right now. We're talking about wars developed after this particular time of these discoveries. When you understand Russia and a lot of the other Arctic region inhabitants that came into the areas of the Pacific after the Age of Discovery, after the Panama Canal was opened up and allowed for ships, after ships didn't need to rely on the winds to travel, motors and steam boats could maneuver through the choppy waters and get to lands, you know, in destinations that they weren't supposed to be able to reach. So you have invasions taking place in times and periods in certain lands where no one's supposed to be able to come on the water. So a lot of these things, these creations and these developments and inventions have been used to pillage the land, like the railroads. Like a lot of people look at the railroad and the trains as something that's been so beneficial, but that the railroad system is one of the main systems that destroyed the California, especially once they found gold here, and the exploitation and how they just were able to bring in millions and millions of people to the coast and then inhabit it and then mix in by intermarriage and killing off the men and taking the women and then creating a whole mixed nationality based upon rape? And we just supposed to just let every nation be a nation and dwell as a nation when the whole earth has been given to a specific class, a priest, who is supposed to keep this order, keep this balance. So when you look at priests, the Kohen, and the ancient travelers, these navigators that traveled these star systems, like in following these wind patterns, like the Kona winds throughout the South Pacific. When you look at Okeanos or ocean, Okeanos, and Oceania, Okanos, Cain, the water, the ocean, Mem, Mu, the 13th letter, the 13th month, the 13th zodiac. All of these things are significant, and all of these things will come to light. It's time to decolonize your mind, body, and soul. You know, I try to use my platform as a way to decolonize the mind so we can understand how to guide the body, which will lead the soul. Peace. Talk about Pisces, understand Joshua, the son of Nun, and the crown of Shin in the west. And when you talk about 12 hours a day and going into the underworld, the book of Revelations, it talks about the golden candlestick, about the Son of Man. Understand when the sun sets and the sun and the twilights, the three. So when we talk about Pisces, understand the seas and understand morning, noon, and night, and the period of darkness when the sun goes into the mountain. Understand why the sunset land of Amuru, the great sea lord of the two seas. Understand when you look at Amaraka, the two seas, right? You got the Atlantic Ocean in the west. This is the Nagas, the serpents. You gotta understand about Pisces. When you look at Pisces, understand the Americas, Africa, and Asia, and the seas. And when we talk about Pisces, you gotta understand the west, the sunset land, and where the ending, Indies. You understand the term Indians, what they call this Indians, Dia, in the day, the last part of the day, the last and the first of the sunset, the western sunset. This is the diaspora and the scattering. So you look at Dia, Indies, Indios, the foreign lands, right? The import and export. You understand the dividing of the kingdom of Israel and the lost kings, or the last kings, right? Right? The last kingdom of Israel. So you understand the diaspora, Dia. Understand the foreign land. Understand the dividing of the kingdom of Israel and the Jews and the Moors that coming to the New World. These foreign lands, the India, and the Greek word says the 12 tribes scattered abroad in the book of James in the first chapter. You understand the broad diaspora. When you look at the Indies, understand the diaspora. So here in the Greek New Testament, you have evidence or proof that they had knowledge that the Tolteca, right, were the 12 tribes of Israel here in the Indios, in the Indies. We understand diaspora, rising sun in this region, these landmarks. Understand. When we look at California and the Caliph, more specifically, in the beginning, darkness, the Lael. When we look at darkness and night, Kali, Lael, Lily, as we understand that this bend, when we look at California, the bended knee, and this here, we look at California, this 180-degree international dateline of this bending coast. As you see here, this covering, which is known as a covering. We understand 150 degrees to head across the Pacific. Now, the Scorpio begins at this 120, so 30 to 120. And Sagittarius. So the ending of 150. When you look at this 30 to 150 degrees, look at this hashtag. And when you see this landmass of this continent that extends from 30 degrees to this one, with the great circle of the Nile Valley, the Great Nile Valley. So when we understand what took place in this region here of the Tasmanian, Australia, Melanesian, Oceania, when we look at the Oceania in this beginning from Hawaii at this 150 degree marker that you see here, right here, to 180 degrees of where this crossing takes place of Oceania. We understand Oceania, Okeanos, and the ocean. When we look at Okeanos and the different measures of the tropics, the Tropic of Cancer is in the summer in the region of Ghana in that time of the summer. The Tropic of Capricorn is the southern crossing that takes place from the southern portion into so this measure 150 degrees west, and these tropics are aligned with this prime meridian here in Ghana. So you understand the Guyane and this twist of this horizon line and this region of this